Let's go.
Awesome. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Catalyst for the Trades podcast. Here with Jen. I am Chuck, and we've got an awesome special guest today. Don't forget to like and follow the podcast. If you've got some amazing golden nuggets from it already, please feel free to share it as well. That's our goal, is to bring you as many gold nuggets as we can each week and keep it fresh and entertaining. I think it was last one that we did that we had to reschedule a special guest. So we kind of gave you a little bit of who we were going to bring on, and I'm super excited because not only did I watch this journey firsthand, I felt I was a little bit of an influence on this journey. So I've talked to Ray, I don't know how many times over the last 4.5 years. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to watch. And I just love the story. I thought I did it fast in 12 years. This story is so incredible to me. And I'm just so honored that he would take time out of his day to come and be with us
Be
and
on the
share some
heavy hitter
insight.
list.
Yeah, he's on the heavy hitter list for sure. So
Ray, we're happy to have you on the heavy hitter list, baby.
yeah, I'm super excited. Ray, with that, I'll let you tell everybody kind of a little bit about what's going on. But Ray, take it away.
Oh man, I'm excited to be here with you guys today. I'm definitely honored that I was able to do what I did and continue to do what I'm doing every day. So my name is Ray Reyes. I'm the founder and owner of New Jersey Pipe Doctor. We're a residential service, commercial service, 100% service company located in New Jersey. We service about 7 to 8 counties. There's about 21 in New Jersey. And I started the company 2020 of April. And we just went through our first exit in December. It was closed December 20th of last year. So about 4.5 years from inception to, partnership. It's pretty wild journey. I started the company myself. Out of kind of like necessity. I've been in the trade since I left the military. I was an MP in the Navy, and I got out. It was like 2009, so it was about 16 years from when I started plumbing full time to my first exit. So it's pretty. Chuck says, yeah, it's fast, but like before opening the company, there was a lot of training and a lot of time invested into the trades, as starting from a helper all the way to service technician to comfort advisor to you know uh, manager in the field, to really building teams and working at some of the biggest service companies in New Jersey. So it wasn't like I just started my company and then here we go, I just got the exit. So that's not the case for me. um yeah,
I
I'm
don't
grateful. I'm really grateful for my journey. Go ahead, Jen.
I don't know if we're giving this the proper due diligence. Hang on, I just want to pause for a minute. Let's go.
Look, Ray,
4 years? I'm sorry. I had to interject here because
Ray,
I feel like you came in and you were like, yeah, well, like kind of no, 4 years.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
it,
freaking crazy.
and
That's
to be
amazing.
honest with you, your story is so compelling to a lot of people because there's so many people out there that are just like maybe just starting or have been doing it for 20 or 30 years, and they haven't got the results that you did, right? And it's amazing to me because you said a lot of things there that resonated with me in the fact that you were taking notes. Yeah, it was 4.5 years from start to your exit, but all along you were watching, paying attention, taking notes, and realizing, okay, if I'm going to do this for myself one day, this is how I'm going to do it. Or I'll take some of these things and I'll tweak it and do it a little bit better or a little bit differently, right? Like, tell me what are some of the biggest challenges you faced early on I mean, besides the obvious of starting in 2020, but tell me some of the biggest challenges you faced in the early days.
And
Yeah,
put it in perspective. I mean, I've got hundreds of customers that are in the home services market that are on their 5-year, 10-year, 15-year, and so forth that haven't been able to cross the 2 million, the 4 million, the 5 million, the $7 million mark, and are still trying to figure it out, after many, many, many years. So, I mean, I don't want to tread lightly that to be able to go from zero to an exit in a 4-year period of time, you had a master plan and followed something different than the majority of the entire home services industry.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely special, but it's really all I know. So for me, it's just my humble beginnings to who I am today is really, you know, like winning is really important to me, and the people that are in my world and my life, and like if like I know you guys are hitting me from different angles, but I want to respect both of you guys and your questions. So, in the beginning, really the hardest thing was my twins were probably 3 years old. My boys, and my daughter was maybe like a year and a half old. So, like going from having three kids in diapers to like owning a service company that's 24/7. You know, I don't ever want to forget the journey, but like it was really hard,
Yep.
and my wife, you know, she endured a lot, like
Yeah.
with like a husband as kind of like a zombie for the first couple years, because like it was 5 a.m. start, help her with the kids, do what I got to do, then get to work at 7, my first call. And I didn't have like a big employee working with me. I had a helper. We did 1.6 million our first year. So it was like, you know, left lane 100 miles an hour
Right.
right day one,
Right.
Um, you know, I'm really grateful. I had a little small 3-bedroom house in the central Jersey, and the garage was like the shop. And
Everything.
yeah, and me and my helper, who's now my general manager, we built a shed in the backyard, and I had a pickup truck with a little magnet on the side of it. And my wife kind of hated me because, like, the water heaters and the toilets and everything in the side yard, like working with friends and contractors and people that would help me like get dumpsters and garbage. And like we'd load up the pickup truck in the morning with like a mainline snake, sawzalls, drills. Like it was insane, you know what I mean? But I'm so grateful for the experience of like building a home service empire. I mean, right before we I partnered with with an investment group. We grew it to like 13-14 million dollars. We were like 60 employees in 4 years. So it was like from day one, it was just growth, 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 growth. uh and I just wasn't I love what I did. But being a dad and a husband and trying to be an entrepreneur is a lot to balance. And like I was there like every night. I was home when the kids, like I'd pick them up from daycare or school, and then I'd still be texting with customers and pushing some jobs off and rescheduling the board, and then getting home for dinner with the family, putting the kids back to bed, and then running back out for an emergency, and then coming home and doing paperwork till 2 in the morning. Like honestly, like it was crazy, but it was worth it. And I remember building the vision with my helper at the time. I just said to him, I said, we're going to build something really special, and one day we're going to have trucks everywhere and billboards and offices, and we're going to we're going to take over New Jersey. And it and what I did, not just me but my team, and the growth of the team was always everybody aligned and really rowing together and building something special for the future. And when you're building it and you have the vision aligned and the management team aligned, and you know the people that you start with, and you see them evolve and grow. And, 'cause, like, I said, like, I grew up in a 3-bedroom house in the central Jersey. And the garage was like the shop. And when you each growth cycle's, difficult. It's like you invest and you love these people, and some of them will work through and some of them will work away. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
there's a lot of hard journeys and being the leader, the entrepreneur, with people that you want to do well, and some will and some won't. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you have to be very flexible, understanding. But for me, it was always like I was always building the next multi-millions of dollars, from year one to year 4.5. And I'm still doing that. You know what I mean? Now I'm able to have an investment group who can guide me to that $100 million mark that I set out in 10 years. So, and looks like we're on our way now. And I'm really grateful for that. And the journey of, like, going through an exit is a lot, and really getting prepared, with your, financials and your SOPs and your KPIs and all the things you're going to need that you don't really think that you're going to need until, your soul is ripped out on a table and it's
Until we
what's
get
all there,
the
Yeah.
due diligence list.
and rip it apart and then shove it
That's
back
the worst
inside
one.
you and devalue you and you know
So Ray, I'm hearing a lot of things about the journey, but you started with what I love and I think is one of the most important ones, right? Because I know a lot of successful people that are on their third, fourth, fifth marriage. Their kids hate them, all that stuff. So you started with probably one of my favorites, right? The fact that your wife stood by your side and that you guys communicated and you built this plan together. I think that's amazing, right? Because I had to do the same thing with my wife. And your wife's also an entrepreneur, and she runs
yeah
a successful business herself.
yeah
So it's like the real thing is you guys are running two very successful businesses in a short amount of time. But the communication is there, and you guys had a plan. So, like, guys, I mean, to all our listeners, that is the most important, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how successful you are. If you want your marriage to last, you got to set it up from the beginning, So I commend you for starting there.
yeah
Jen, you had another question?
No, I started my business in 2006 and I was a single mom with a toddler.
Yep.
And I think in a lot of ways it was more difficult and a lot easier because there was none of that friction existed.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I had a kid that when I said that, I don't have money for the house and the office. Are you cool moving into the office? He was like, cool. Can I get a big TV? Like, I was like, I didn't have to, go back and tell the spouse that I didn't have to have those conversations. So it was very, very, very difficult. But either way, if you're single or single mom or single dad, or you're in a relationship, that's part of the business is working that out.
Yeah.
That's part of the business planning and strategy is having those discussions, getting on the same page. I think a lot of entrepreneurs come in and say, I want more time, money, and freedom. And they tell their spouse their pipe dream and how this is going to be amazing. And the reality is it sucks, it sucks, it sucks, it sucks, it sucks until it doesn't. Right.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
They lose the communication along the way.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's all, the first, I always think back, and I had to do this a lot, right? If you ran your company like it was the first day every day, you'd have no bad days, right? Because literally, like the first day you open your doors, you are ready to take on the world. And it's like sometimes I would have to bring myself back and put myself into that mindset to get through the challenges that were coming my way, right? But the problem that I see with relationships is they start there. Oh, it's gonna be so great, like you said, Jen. But they don't.
Butterflies and daisies. No, it's
They
not.
stop talking when
Mhm.
it gets bad, and that's where it's like, because my wife owned a business too. We were always communicating. Hey, this employee did this. This happened. This so we were always communicating. We knew where each other was at, and that was really helpful for me. Right? I don't know if that's how you and Alyssa kind of worked it, but
I mean, uh timing is everything. I mean, I got laid off from my job. I was like the head guy there, and I had 3 kids, and it was COVID, and it was crazy, and they were like, "Oh, you have kids, and schools are closed, so like you can't work anymore." And I'm like, all right. And me and like the service manager got laid off because we had like a lot of kids. And, it's like this fear comes in like, oh my gosh, I've been working in this plumbing and HVAC electrical field for, the past 13 years. This is all I know. And I just wanted to be the best service tech, best sales guy, best employee. And then it's like, okay, well, I got my licenses, like I always did have a dream and a goal of opening my own entity. And then it's like God's like, okay, now's the time, right? And I didn't really say
Leverage.
that. My wife's like, you've been building everyone's companies for so many years, building service departments,
Yeah.
building sales plans, building bonus plans. Like, you should do it for yourself. And we're like, okay, you know what I mean? But we didn't. I had no idea the demand and the stress and the work that it's going to take to be successful. And she didn't realize either. And like, I think I started my company in April, March 2020, and then she started her company like June 2020. So it was like go all in, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And yeah. And her she built an amazing brand. We have a partner in that, and like my company was always able to take care of the HVAC, the plumbing, the electrical, whatever. And it's like for me, like getting to exit was always my goal. And for her, she's like, no, I want to keep this longer, and after going through my exit, she's like, maybe there's a chance I can exit now. You know what I mean? And I'm like, look, if you want to do that, I support you and I'll help you do it. Like it's just it's ingrained in me now at this point.
It's
And
so awesome.
yeah,
It wasn't
So
separated. People talk about life balance, and you guys just made life, right?
I
Like, I
yeah,
love that. I love
yeah,
that.
it has to be. So because you knew that was your goal from day one, that your goal is to exit, do you feel like a portion of why you were able to truncate time and accelerate results is because you had that game plan from day one? You ran your business like you wanted to sell regardless?
Mm,
yeah. I mean, really built
right.
to, I mean, I'm like, I want to write a book. It's like, there's a book like Built to Sell. Like you really have to take that embodiment, that mentality to work through, because what happens is you're growing and then there's bumps in the road. You're growing and then employees do certain things, and you're growing and competitors do certain things, and things that are out of your control.
Yep.
And like, for us is like we had a little small, we started in my office, and then I had like a girl in the den, and I had a girl like in the basement, and then like, and then like we're like, oh, we're outgrowing like my house, and my wife's like, I can't stand all these people in my house, and we're trying to have family time, and then she was trying to help me, and it was just craziness, and then we finally got like a little like call center and like an office, and then we had like a couple storage units around the state, and then eventually we got our first shop, and now we have like 2 shops and call center. So like the journey is amazing, and but like it was kind of crazy a little bit too, you know what I mean? Like it's not for everyone, and I see that a lot. I'm like, I want to build this empire, but I only want to work like a couple hours a day, or I want to
Yeah.
build this empire and like I only want to work 40 hours. And I'm like, good luck.
No. Every
It's
time someone asks me about becoming an entrepreneur, I'm like, the concept is I want more time, money, and freedom. My next question is, at what cost are you willing to contribute?
Yep.
yeah. And for me, like my strategy was like the key people that helped me get here. Like I wanted to give them, equity in the growth of the future of the company. So I was able to do that. And, I remember feeling like, oh man, like I did something special, but I want my leadership team to feel like they did something special too. And it was cool, like the day you're cutting checks, like they're all getting bonuses and they're all getting, unit shares in the future growth of the company. Like for me, that I felt like that was really important for me. And everybody's journey is different. And, like for me, like I went through an actual like market go to market strategy. So I was able to sit down with like 13 groups, and it was really stressful and grueling. And I'm not a Wall Street guy. I'm not an Ivy League guy. And every day I'm talking to Wall Street and Ivy League guys. So, you know, it was a amazing experience. And the broker I use, like I remember when I found the partner that I wanted to work with, like we narrowed it down to 3 from 13. And there was 2 groups that wanted to give me more money, but they wanted me to be like a platform company, which pretty much is like my SOPs, my KPIs, my company is going to M&A all these other companies and we're going to grow. And for me, I was like, it was a great like meetings to go through that process, but I wanted to work with like a company that was established and really had a really good SOPs and larger entities inside their world that I could learn from and my team could learn from so we can get to that next level and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. But like, getting the right people around you financial wise and, growing the company the right way from the beginning, getting the right mentors, like it was a big investment for me. I think I was spending like, I don't know, anywhere from 15 to 20,000 a month on consultants and advisors, as we grew it. But it was worth its weight in gold,
Dude, you
Yep.
nailed it. You want to go fast? Bring people that have done it before you on,
Yeah.
and you will go fast. Ray, you've talked a lot. I want to go back just a little bit more because I think it's important to talk about some things that I see a lot of my clients facing and a lot of people in the industry facing today. Like, man, you had such an amazing journey and fast in 4 years, 4.5 years. How did you handle hiring and staffing challenges that you encountered? Like, how did you hire that fast? What was some
uh,
key takeaways from that?
yeah, I mean, listen, you got to be willing to put yourself out there. You got to be willing to evolve as an owner, as a leader, in the marketplace, in your state or whatever service area that you're winning in, and really be like a market disruptor where you're taking key people want to come work at a growing place. So, you know, um, it's it's tough when you're just getting started to have like real authority. Like, yeah, I'm growing this monster, and they're like, "What do you mean? You got 2 trucks?" Like
In
that's
your basement.
yeah. So like I was like, I remember in the beginning, I was like, I need 401k, I need health insurance, I
I
need all these
remember that
places that the
too.
big dogs
Same.
have. And my wife's like, you don't need none of that. You just need people that are gonna, believe in
Go
you
to work.
and 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 that are gonna, believe in the vision. And I was able to get key people and take care of them and make them feel a part of. I mean, really, like whatever I rolled out, I wanted their input and I wanted to make sure we were aligned. And best practice groups and searching. Like I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs will get stuck in this. Like I don't need, I need no offense, but I need to watch this podcast or I need to read this book or I need to, you know, talk to this guy or that guy, and it's like like the piece that's right in front of you is the most important thing. And you're and I went through that, like growing 3 5 10 $15 million entity, like and your entrepreneur mind's like, I need to go work on this, or I need to get in real estate, or I need to do this and I need to do that, and I don't want to miss this, and I want but you have this like amazing opportunity right in front of you that's like okay, like, and I know, like, I see all these companies like between like whatever startup to 5 million, like, oh, I got cash on the side and my business is worth this and I'm doing this and it's really like you're actually hurting your evaluation in the
Right.
future of the company because you're not reporting things and you're not doing things the right way. And
Yeah.
it's like, and I feel like so many entrepreneurs like, oh well, they have that scarcity mindset of like, I need to try to not pay taxes and I need to like hide money and all this stuff. And like cash is a problem, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it makes you think like you're way farther than you really are,
Yeah.
and reality is like if it's not on the balance sheet and it's not in the P&L, it's worthless.
Doesn't
Yep.
exist.
Yep. So back to hiring, Ray, and thank you for talking about that. But how did you keep like the culture together? I mean, look, the people that started in your basement and
Yeah.
worked, in your shed and stuff. Those are lifers, right? Because I
Yeah.
had those too. I had the guys that started with me
I
and
call
stayed the
them
whole
the
time.
OGs.
But
Oh geez,
how,
yeah.
I call
how'd
them
you
the
grow?
OGs.
Yeah, how'd you grow a culture that fast, man? Like that's so intriguing to me.
Like I mean, like I brought lunch every Friday, like
Yeah.
breakfast all the time. like I wasn't cheap, like, and I always loaded the freezer with ice pops and Gatorades and just did my best to, like give them the best opportunity for a place to call home. And that's what I always hear. Like when I see these sharks that are like, yo, I want to come work at Pipe Doctor. And I'm like, well, why? And they're like, I want a home. You know what I mean? So building a home for them is really a key piece to that, because like when you go back to your parents' house and you sit on that couch or that chair that you sat on your whole life and you're like, this is home, and even though you haven't been there in a long time, you feel like that's the culture you really need to create, or like people want to stay there after work and hang out with their friends and build relationships. And for me, like more so like my brother, he works in a company. He's really good at getting like all the event tickets for, like, in New Jersey, New York is like the Yankees, the Phillies, the Mets, all
Yeah.
those different
Yeah.
sporting events. And for me, like I'll go once in a while, but there's so many opportunities for supply houses to take care of you and leverage that with your team. I remember we partner with the supply house. Like I don't need to name the names of them or whatever, but they're like, yeah, we're gonna get you guys limos and we're gonna take you to the Bronx, and like we did that and it was pretty cool, and then like leveraging like, hey, we're gonna do like a top golf trip for the whole company, and like
Yeah.
like they don't see the cost, but it definitely is worth it.
Yeah.
And I love that, Ray. Like, it doesn't have to be the limo and the tickets right now, right?
Yeah,
Ice pops and Gatorades in the freezer, and then
yeah,
you work up to that. And
yeah,
then you said something amazing right there. Leverage your vendors, get them to pay for the
Yeah.
limousine and the tickets, like that. I mean, you have, everybody has that opportunity, right? The faster that you're going and the faster you're growing like that. I mean, there's guys out there that've been in business for 30 years and never asked anything from their supply house, right? Like, so utilize your resources and your vendors to build your culture. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. If you, another question for you, what mistakes did you make along the way that turned into like the most valuable lessons?
mistakes
Yeah.
that turn into the best lessons. Hmm. Well, like delegating, right, is hard for an entrepreneur who's used to doing everything himself,
Yeah.
especially like when you're scaling and you're used to having those relationships and being the point of, like, for me, like going from like the technician sales mindset to then like ownership mindset, and then like releasing that to keep people in the company was really hard, but it was a blessing because then they owned it and I didn't have to own it anymore. And we can continue to grow so I can focus on higher level things, strategic growth, strategic partnerships, M&A stuff, where that's where I really needed to be and I still need to be. Um, Not like who's taking the parts from the warehouse, or did that job get paid. Like we need people to own those roles. And like I said, it's really hard when you're the one who's used to doing everything, and like what I've seen is, as I've acquired some smaller companies and the owners, they need help, but they're so used to doing everything themselves. And I'm like, dude, you got a team now that will help you. Like the pressure, you're so used to the pressure cooker always popping. I'm like, now it's time to like let go and trust this amazing team to like help you actually elevate to become more of like a owner inside the company. Um, yeah, it's like it's funny because like you talk to people and they're like, I want to grow this company and I want to build wealth and I want to do all these things, and I'm like, well, you need to like talk to someone who's done it already, because
Yeah.
if you try to just do it yourself, yeah, you're like you feel this empowerment or this strength, but it's actually detriment because you really can't release to then grow. It's like a box, right? You get this entrepreneur is like in this box and he wants to break out, but the lid is like so locked, like there's deadbolts, locks on it, glue, super glue, duct tape, and they're like, oh, no, let it go, and then it's fun.
All the weight.
Yeah, until like the stress on their heart, or
Yeah.
they can't sleep at night, and these are things I'm talking about for myself that I had
They're
to like
real.
endure to like
Yeah.
finally like release them, and because without doing that, you can't get to the next evolution or next step.
So, Ray, I think a lot of companies, a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, when they hear the word exit or sell, they think, I built this. This is my baby. These are my people. This is my everything. I've put so much into this. I don't want to exit or sell,
Yeah.
because they see those two words as a way to walk away from what they love. And that's not the only option. That's not what that means. I wish I could interchange the word. Would you like to grow at a higher velocity instead of exit or sell? Because it doesn't mean necessarily that you have to give up everything that you've been building. It means that you can now play a different role and be able to make bigger deals, bigger moves, and grow faster. So if you can unpack that a little bit, because I think that's the biggest misnomer when I'm talking, saying, what's your exit strategy? They're like, I don't want to sell this. I've made this. This is my baby. No. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, do you want to grow? And they're like, absolutely. I want to grow. I want to get to 50 million. I'm like, how long, based on your current trajectory, is it going to take you to get there if you do it alone? That's all exit or sell means.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great question. I was actually talking to somebody about this the other day. So he's like, "Yeah, I want to hold on to this and give it to my kids." And I'm like, I hear you. That's great." I'm like, "Well, why don't you build it scalable and sellable? Like, so you can do exit to your kids or employee ESOP, like whatever you want to do at any given point." You know what I mean? And that's what people don't understand. So for me, like, there was some strategies like where I could have exited and been 100% done. There was, like I said, the platform strategy, and then the strategy I went with where I still stay on and I get to continue to grow the company and be more of a long-term visionary strategist inside the company, and my employees get to continue to grow. So, but to get there really is getting your numbers in order, having the right mentorship around you. For me, like, I cut equity deals with key strategists inside my world so that they had buy-in to the future growth of the company. And I had some key, individuals inside that and company that had opportunities like that as well. So, and then there's a lot of ways you can go about this, but like the worst way is like you don't build it to scale and sell, and then you actually lose it, like
Yeah.
capital bankruptcy, chapter 11, whatever. And
Yep.
then the other one is like you die, and because the business will live and die based off the leadership of the owner, you know what I mean? And then the last one is exiting on your terms. So I wanted to exit on my terms, and being friends with Chuck and see him go through his exit, and I was able to learn a lot from that. And a fellow mentor, his exit, and some other people in our lives to see some of their exits. So, like, like your evolution to get to the exit is based off how hard you're willing to get there, and the actual mentorship and clarity that you're going to have around that to finally get there. And for some people, it's like you said, 20 years and they can't break 2-3 million, so
Mhm.
like I didn't want that pain. When I first started in this business, I
It's
worked
not that fun to be an entrepreneur, to enjoy that pain that long.
yeah. So I mean, when I first started in this business, I worked for like a small mom and pop doing new construction,
Yep.
which is a blessing because I learned big scale, high rise commercial work. And but I also saw the owner like, hey, I got to pay you guys and I got to pay the supply house, but the contractor won't pay me until I start the next job. And I was like, whoa, 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 this is like a major red flag. So like a 20-year-old kid, 21, and I'm like, so you're working for free? Like I didn't say that to myself, but I was like thinking that.
Uh-huh.
And then I'd see these contractors like they just cut each other's throats, underbid each other.
And
And
then you're down in Jersey City, and the crackhead's trying to sell you your copper back that he stole off your job. Like I was there too, Ray. I seen that one.
like I remember one time, like in the new construction world, like my boss went to the job, pulled all the toilets that were supposed to be for finish because he didn't get his payment, and then the contractor called the cops,
Yeah.
and I was just like, whoa, this is like total insanity, you know what I mean? So, but that's how it is out there, where like you know, and like new construction is so economy driven and it's not recession proof, where service work is, like it's one thing to like, hey, I want to do a master bathroom or an addition, or I want to do like a fit out. Like that's all based off the economy. Well, with service work, I mean, that's why Wall Street and PA sees, all the trades now is like, a full way to get to continue to build revenue. You know what I mean? Because a homeowner is going to pay for you to come fix their toilet or fix their sewer line or their water heater or their heat or the AC or the electrical. So, and like the garage doors and the roofing and the exterior work,
Yeah.
and with the, with the financing programs and the rebates, like there's a lot of opportunities for, the company, the P's, the investment groups, and they're very smart. They know what they're doing, and you
Uh,
know it's it's uh it's I heard that 70% of small businesses home service will be owned by PE in the next 4 years. So
it's great. It's crazy. And
Consolidation is real.
you want to know another stat that is amazing? 11% of businesses combined succeed.
yeah.
That's crazy. Like all businesses, 11% succeed. That's
Well, I mean,
insane.
I feel like it's 2% will build 1 million in EBITDA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And 1% will exit. So like, you got to put your pride aside and your ego aside, and your short term goals into like the right investment, which is the mentorship, the fractional CFO, the right broker, like so you can build it so it's scalable at
Yeah.
any time you want.
I always say this, and Jen, we've talked about this many times. There's groups 0 to 1 million, 1 million to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, and above 20.
Yeah.
And each one of those levels is new challenges and opportunities, right? And here's the thing, like Ray,
Yeah.
you saw it coming down to 2. You're like, okay, I got it to here. I want to take it to here, and I'm not going to be able to do that by myself.
No, the majority of companies that are sitting at 50 million, they didn't at some point when you hit that 10 to 20 million dollars, you start growing through M&A, not through buying a new pair of Nikes and just hustling more.
The biggest one that everybody will know, Elon Musk. He does not own all of Tesla. He does not own all of any of his companies. He has done this so well over and over and over and over again. And he
Right.
does it fast. And
Right.
that's exactly what's happening in the trades industries and exactly what your position you're in, Ray. Like the NJ Pipe Doctor being $100 million a year company is very feasible.
Yeah.
Very feasible.
But imagine if you'd had to do that just through grassroots. If you didn't take this, how long would it have taken you to get there? And how much weight and stress if you didn't have financial backing and a strategic partner to assist and position you in a position where you can start growing at not one job at a time, not $20,000 jobs at a time, but at another 1 million or 3 million or $10 million acquisition to get there faster.
I saw one company do it organically to 70 million. They've been in business they had been in business for 50 years. They
That
didn't
was
start their
great grandpa's business.
yeah, they didn't start their journey to that. It was the last 20 years that they were in
Wow.
business, which is incredible to me, right? So it took them 35 years to figure something out. And then
But if you have options to do it with significantly less effort,
oh yeah, forget it.
why not?
Yeah, I love it. Ray, incredible story.
Yeah, you're amazing, man.
Is there anything that we missed that you'd like to give some insight on? I think there's a part 2 in this at some point, Jen. I know the
I would
future
love that.
Ray is going to be brighter, and we're going to see a lot more. I'm going to see a lot more of him because he's got a little bit more free time now. But is there anything else that you just want to, shed some light on in this incredible journey that you had?
Just treat people good, treat your people good, treat your clients good. Like on your way up, people are coming down, and on your way down, people are coming up. So you're like, stay grounded, stay humble, like, whatever your relationship with God, universe, whatever, like make sure that's intact, because like no amount of money is going to create health and longevity, so like what I would suggest is, like, make sure like your family, your marriage, your personal health, like you don't lose focus on that, because I see so many entrepreneurs so focused on making money that they destroy everything around them,
Yep.
and they think the money is going to solve their core issues, and it's not. So like for me, it's really getting focused on your internal belief system and aligning yourself with those people around you, so that you can do cool things with them, have fun, live your life, and like I feel like in my next ventures and things like that, that's really the core purpose for me, is to align myself with people that are like-minded, and they want to win and not necessarily know how, and that's where I really will help them, and really get them to evolve, and
Yeah.
I I'm really grateful for this opportunity in my life and the doors that have opened, and you know you don't understand it till you go through it, you know what I mean? And everyone thinks they know what they're talking about, and what really is a tough pain point for me is these people that like, oh, I'll coach you, I'll mentor you, and they really haven't been through nothing.
Right.
Yeah, right. You know, this whole I'm going to go back and listen to this a couple times myself, just because it's such an incredible journey. And literally, Ray, I watched you, right? I've known you since you started your company, and I got to see you weekly for a while, right?
Yes.
You know, the one thing that I really want to point out to everybody, and make note of this, right? There's not a moment that Ray was going through that 4.5 years that he didn't know what he wanted.
Right.
And that is literally the starting point. You have to know what you want and know what your purpose is. Like he just said, now his purpose is this, and he knows what he wants next. And a lot of entrepreneurs forget that because we get so entrepreneur brains, and we forget what we actually want and why
Yeah.
we're doing it, and Ray, I'd like to, to the guys that are just starting or in the trenches in this process right now, like my words to you are keep doing it, right? Because here's living proof that it on the other side, it is much better. And don't think that everything you're doing right now is going unnoticed, because whether or not we actually see you, we know what's going on, right?
Right.
And Ray, what would you say to the guys that are
Yeah.
just starting out or in the trenches right now?
Yeah, I mean, even if you're like, I could think back to my journey, like in the military, I would be marching, like, and I had no idea why I'm marching, but just going through this cadence and this learning discipline to show up, put the work in, and then that training will, not just marching, but like, all the different things we did in the military. When you needed that thing to kick in, it would kick in, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like I remember I did electrical for like 2 years during Hurricane Sandy, and I didn't realize, like, I didn't really like electrical, but it was a generator, and it was what was available, and then I remember like doing a lot of masonry work, and a lot of big boilers and big piping work and underground work, and at one point I even worked for like the utility company for like 8 months, and it was all underground work, and like all these jobs and experiences I had all came into place
Yeah.
once I built my own entity, and I understood that life was happening for me, where I always thought it was happening to me. You know what I mean? So all those experiences were so I can get to where I was when I started my company, to then build it and go through what I went through. And that's really the shift in the paradigm. You really have to understand, it's like, this isn't happening to me, it's happening for me.
Yeah.
And if I can do the work and I can get the right people around me, I'm going to get the desired outcome. And and God would always put the right people, open the right doors, and do things for me that I really was not me. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to step up, you got to answer the call, take the
Yeah.
leap of faith, and then trust, get with the right people. Like, get with the mentors who have done it already. Work with the CFO who's done it already. Work with the marketing agency who's done it already. Like, that's going to get you there a lot faster than me trying to reinvent the wheel, because it's already written.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Well,
100%.
brother, thank you so much for your time. I'm so Ray, when I say I'm proud of you, you have no idea, man. When you came out to visit my shop, and I think you were in year 2, and we spent that time together. Like, to see from there to now, I'm like, man, I look back and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud for your family, your kids, your wife, everybody around you, because you are that type of person. I know you take care of people. And thank you for taking the time out of your day and coming on with me and Jen.
I
Yeah.
100% agree. I am so proud of you. I'm going to play another song for you. Right? You guys, thank you I'm so proud of you. I play music because it makes me so happy, and I'm so proud of everything that you're doing and the impact you've had on the industry and taking time to help others who are looking for some clarity. You guys, for those of you that are watching, remember this: without clarity, you cannot focus. If you don't focus, it's hard to execute, and if you don't execute, very difficult to win. So let's get clarity. I know that Ray's helped you guys do that today. Again, thank you so much for taking time with us. Tell your beautiful wife, amen, sister. I love that. I am very excited to hear more about her business as well. She might need to be a guest on our show too.
Yeah. Love it.
Thank you guys so much, and keep at it, guys. Don't give up.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, follow, share. See you on the next one. We're doing back-to-back today. So you got another podcast coming at you soon.
Let's go.